Worrying about what people think is going to be the death of you, bro. Caring about what people think is probably the worst thing that you could ever do, without a doubt. Because you're not living life on your own terms if you're worried about what people think about you. You simply cannot think clearly if you are worrying what the others say. No one that's gotten to a position of high levels of success has cared about other people's opinions. Those two don't work out. A lot of people end up doing things in their lives, taking professions they don't want, just because someone told them that they have to do that. Or just because someone told them that if you don't do this, I'm going to be very disappointed. But at the end of the day, it's the end of the day, guys. Who gives a fuck what anyone thinks? If someone tells you not to do something, go and do it anyways, bro. I mean, seriously, what is stopping you from doing what you want? I think once you realize that you have free will over everything that happens in your life is the moment everything changes in your life for the better. For the longest time, I thought external things were causing me to feel a certain way, when in reality, they aren't. Nothing can affect you. It's all your perception on all of these things. And once I realized that I could do whatever I wanted to do, is when my life started to get a lot better. Because I don't have to live life on anyone else's terms but mine. And I never will. That's why we live. That's why each and every one of us are different. Because we're not supposed to listen and follow other people. We're supposed to follow our own path. You listening to someone else's opinion is not following your own path, bro. And, I'm not saying don't take advice, but definitely don't take advice from someone that is not in the position you want to be in. Without a doubt. Because what does that person really know? What does that person know that you don't know? This leads into another thing. You don't need to know anything, bro. I feel like society's so caught up in knowing everything. Like, you need to know everything before you ever even do it. Like, the person who thinks all the time literally has nothing to think about but thoughts. That's a corny quote from TikTok, but it's true. Thinkers aren't doers. Doers are people who don't think. And in some respects, you kind of just gotta be retarded, dude. As blunt as it sounds, I think the retarded man beats the thinker every day. Because the retarded man, he's just gonna go out and do what needs to be done. The thinker is just gonna think. Now, let me ask you, what have you ever gotten out of thinking instead of doing what needs to be done? Because when you're thinking, you're simulating all of these things that can happen, but you really don't have an idea of what is going to happen until you go do it. A lot of people think by thinking they're going to learn something that they don't already know. Or by researching, they're going to learn something that's going to flip a switch. But I don't think that's the case. Because the best form of learning is experiencing. And that's my whole philosophy in life. And it's something that I've really began to do with everything in my life, is just experience everything I can experience in this life. Because life is one big experience. If you're not experiencing, you're not living. And I don't learn by being in a classroom. I learn by going and doing shit. Real life. Just going out and trying it and seeing if it works. If someone tells me it's not going to work, okay, I'm going to do it anyways. I don't care if you tell me the stove's hot. I'm still going to touch it. And honestly, you telling me not to do it is going to make me want to do it even more. Because I love proving people wrong. and kind of making them eat their words. Because how do they know what's best for you? They don't. They're simply assuming they do. Only you know what's really going to benefit you. So by you not listening to these people, you are living life on your own terms. It's crazy to me how so many people will not do something because they care about the repercussions of what people are going to think about them. Like posting on social media, for example. Everyone would do it if no one cared. What I mean by that is, like, if people knew that no one really gave a fuck what they're posting, everyone would do it. Everyone would post content, but they don't, because people assume that they're the center of attention all the time. Like, I hate to break it to you, bro, but you're not the main character, and neither am I. No one's the main character out here, bro. Like, do you think someone is worrying about what you're doing every second of the day when they have their own problems? That person that you think is worrying about you is probably worrying if you're worrying about them. So it's just one big cycle of who's worrying about who. How are you going to live like that? You're a slave to the mind if you're doing that. You don't have control over anything in your life. And if you don't have control over your life, you're not living. You're not experiencing. You're a slave. So you gotta put constant effort into not caring. And the only way to start the process of not giving a fuck is to do stuff that makes you vulnerable, do stuff that makes you uncomfortable. And eventually your brain will become calloused to just not give a fuck anymore. When I first started posting on social media, like 3 months ago, my first post, I was scared to post. I was scared shitless. And I look back and I think, like, why was I even scared? Because it's not scary at all. Like, even if someone does say something bad, who cares? Why? The only reason someone's saying something negative is because they lack something that you have. Every single hate comment you've ever gotten is a comment made out of envy, jealousy, or just someone not being comfortable in their own skin, bro. That's the only reason someone will hate on you. And once you realize that, it just makes you feel bad for that person, bro. Like, bless their heart. But that's why realizing these things will just give you a different outlook on life. Because I know so many people that just care what people think about them to the next level. And even I am a victim of this too. Like, I've struggled with this before too. I think if you're not human if you haven't struggled with this at some point. But it's something that can be, overcome for sure. And it doesn't really take that long. Like, you could seriously turn this ship around in less than 2 months. But that will only happen if you start doing and not thinking. Go do something that's just out of the ordinary, something that not a lot of people are doing. And just do it to feel uncomfortable. Just feel it, bro. Feel the feelings. We're here to feel every feeling. Feel it and then realize why you're feeling it. And then fucking get rid of the feeling, bro. And just ignore it, because your mind is just playing tricks on you. And this is an endless cycle for so many people. And I don't think people realize how much it really affects their life. Because there's adults that care what people think about them. And my biggest goal in life is to not give a fuck what people think about me. So be a retard. Start thinking less, man. Just relax and understand that you can be whoever you want to be. But it's up to you. No one's going to do it for you. But no one's going to stop you from doing it. You might think that they have the ability to, but they don't. Because if you really wanted to, you would. If you really wanted to climb Mount Everest tomorrow, you would do it. Because why the fuck not? Why not do it? If you really wanted to move out tomorrow, you could do it. Without a doubt. Like, all the limits you place on yourself are placed on yourself. Literally. And I do think people's opinions play a factor in that, because if you're in the headspace where you're entertaining other people's opinions, then those opinions possess your mind. And that's really when you become a slave to your mind. When you start believing the opinions of others. And I'm not saying you can't take advice from people. I'm just saying there's no point in listening to someone's advice if they're not where you want to be. Why would you listen to a homeless person tell you how to make money? You wouldn't. You'd laugh in their face because it just doesn't make sense. You already have more money than that person. How are you going to listen to them give you advice? There are so many people that want to give advice, but they're in a worse position than you. And it's just crazy to me how people's opinions will just basically dictate someone's whole day. Like, dude, if I don't care what you tell me, I don't care if you don't like what I'm wearing, if you don't like what I'm posting, it doesn't affect me, bro. Because I live on my own terms, and I'm comfortable enough to not give a fuck. And I don't think you guys realize how much your life will change when you stop giving a fuck. And a lot of people are going to start to be like, what, is there something wrong with this dude? Because he just kind of does things that are out of the ordinary, like things that the average human doesn't. Like posting. Like, if you want to post on social media, go do it, bro. But, like, you're going to get people telling you, and, like, kind of, like, maybe not actually, like, being dicks about it, but definitely being, like, chirping you in a way. And you just can't listen to it, bro. And after a while, it's just fucking background noise. Like, doesn't matter. I'm not saying I'm the most hated dude on planet Earth, but I get my fair share of hate comments and just, you know, the subtle chirps, which I don't give a fuck about. Because why does it matter? You don't even know who these people are behind the screen. Fuck, you don't even know who these people are that are chirping you in real life and saying negative things about you. You don't even know who they really are. Like, they definitely struggle with some things deep down themselves, which is why they're talking so negatively about you, because they lack something that you have. So that's why I think that a lot of the things we're taught are just the opposite in a way. A lot of the things that society teaches, like, you need to be smart to get a good job, you need to get a degree. Who says who? Seriously, who? Why do I need to get a degree? I don't need to. You might tell me I do, but I don't. You might think that I need a degree based off of your experience, but what if I personally just don't want one? I don't have to get one. I don't have to do anything. And I think that's just a great thing to realize, is that you really don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Now, I'm not saying that you can sit in bed all day and be just a slob, but I mean to say that you know what's best for yourself. And no one else truly understands you like you do. You're with your thoughts all day. Every day you will be till you die. So I'd like to think you know more about yourself than anyone else. And I don't think people realize that they know more about themselves than anyone. Like, you are the closest with yourself. And if you're not, that's a problem. because you're spending the rest of your life with yourself, so you might as well learn to understand what's best for you. Whatever that may be, however you want to do it. But there's just so much stimulation now that a lot of people don't even realize that they know what's best for them. And the real NPCs are the ones that don't realize that they're in control of their destiny. It's almost like the people that are like that aren't even awake in a way. Like they're literal AI generated characters that don't think for themselves. Because if you don't have control over your destiny, then who does? You're in control. No one else. So to care about others' opinions is just, it's stupid. And you won't go anywhere. You will not go anywhere with that mindset of caring what other people think. I mean, do you know how many people, successful people, did things that, and they got so much backlash for it when they're first starting out? People telling them it wasn't going to work, and they didn't care, because all of the people saying those things were just saying things based off of their experience. Saying things maybe even because they didn't want to see that person succeed. A lot of people will be more happy if you're defeated than if you won, because it proves them right. Everyone wants to be right all the time. No one can accept not being right. And I seriously think that that's a sign of being a little less intellectual than people that can admit they're wrong. Because it's just so naive to think that you're always right. Because you're not going to be right about a lot of things. But you're not going to know if you're right until you go and you fucking take action. You could think you're right, and then you do it and you realize you're wrong. And a true man can admit when he fucks up or admit when he's wrong. But the people out there that just can't do that, they can never admit when they're wrong, I seriously think that those people are less intellectually smart than the rest of society. Because you don't know everything, bro. And I just, it irritates me when people think that they're always right. And I just don't know why they think that. It's like a pride thing. Now, like, not listening to people's opinions is one thing, but also just knowing when to take advice and when not to is a big thing too. Because I'm not saying don't take advice from anyone. Like I said, just don't, there's really no point in listening to someone that's not where you want to be, is what I'm saying. And just a lot of people won't take advice regardless. Even if someone that's in a place where they want to be is giving them advice, they just assume that they're doing it right. And they don't even want correction. They just get all defensive. And what I'm trying to do recently is be able to, like, admit when I'm in the wrong. Put my pride aside. Like, for example, me and my roommate, we started a business not too long ago. And we butt heads sometimes because, you know, we're high testosterone individuals. We're going at it sometimes. We argue back and forth. But what I've been trying to do is really actually try to see where the other person's coming from in an argument. Because what's the point in arguing if you can't even see where they're coming from? It's the whole point of an argument. To understand what's this person is trying to get through to you, and then rebuttaling back, or just admitting, okay, maybe this is a better option. Because if you got two people arguing, they're both going at it, and they're both with this mindset that they're right, the argument could go on for hours. And they're maybe they both are right, and maybe they can agree to a compromise. So there's always a way to solve something like that, and it doesn't always have to be some big reacting. Just it doesn't have to be something where it gets super heated. Like knowing when to not react and just kind of observe and see what's really happening, and then making a decision not based out of anger. I feel like sometimes I get caught up in my emotions and I just react off of emotion. And that's something I'm really trying to get better at, is just being low cortisol, bro. Just trying to stay calm in situations that irritate me. Because sometimes I find myself just kind of a short fuse, I guess I could say. Like one little thing could really get me going. And at that point, your emotions are literally enslaving you, which is what I've started to realize, is that your emotions have more control over you than you do. Because you're not your emotions. You are like the stillness that's always just still, like that. Your emotions just come and go. If you were your emotions, they wouldn't come and go. They would be there forever. That same emotion would be there forever. But the fact that they're passing by every so often, every day, you experience probably 10 emotions every day, just shows that you're not your emotions. And you can kind of observe, like, okay, this made me feel a certain way. And just being able to understand why you feel the way you do is so big, because then you can understand you can understand how to prevent it. It's like you're just a puzzle, bro, and you got to find where the pieces connect. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't know enough about themselves. And that's something that I've really been trying to focus on, is understanding what pisses me off, why it pisses me off, and how I can prevent it from pissing me off, or why this makes me happy, whatnot, for everything, every emotion, because it's important to know why you do the things you do, so you can learn. And that's a form of experiencing. So once again, you're learning from experiencing, which is my whole point here. I don't even know where this video is going. We were talking about not giving a fuck, which plays into all of this. Because by simply not being reactive, you're not giving a fuck. Like, life is not that serious. And when you don't give a fuck, I feel like it just lowers your stress and everything, because a lot of things we get worked up about just don't matter whatsoever. Like, there's so many things that like today I got mad at something. My brother was late to pick me up from my friend's house because I just came home from college today. And I was sitting there super pissed off. And I just sat there and I realized, why am I even mad about this? Like, is it that big of a deal? Because I'm gonna be picked up at some point. Like, just being okay with things not going your way is a big step in becoming a high-level human being. Because it's not all gonna go your way every single time. And you need to understand that in order to grow, bro. It's just, there's so many people that just need to get their way, and it's just, life is one big pride fest. Like, everyone's got such pride and ego about everything. They think they're the best in this. That person thinks they're the best in this. They don't accept advice, constructive criticism. I think it's worse now than it probably ever has been. I don't know, because I'm young. It just seems that way, that no one wants feedback. No one wants any of that. They just want to keep doing shitty things. And you just can't do that, man. You need to know when you're in the wrong and understand that sometimes it's not going to go your way, bro. Even if it doesn't go your way, it's still your way, though. Because it's all part of your path that you're following in life. So, you just can't give a fuck what people say. And not being so reactive will change your life. Because a lot of things we do are based off of impulse. And a lot of the ways we react can be prevented. We can always handle something better. And no one can tell you that you can't do something, bro. The world is yours once you realize that you have control over everything that happens to you, good and bad. Now, yes, some things are still going to happen to you that are bad, but you can control how you react. And you really shouldn't even react. You should just observe it. You can control all of that. So, yeah, this is my first video, maybe second actually. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video today. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. The message I'll leave you with is be more retarded. Think less, do more. The retarded man will be the smart man every single day.